already established. We'll see if this is going to pan out that way. But a one-way setup for Defo. They've got some map control early. That is going to force Duno to come back over towards A. They've taken the holes. They're moving their way through them. Shados does send his Trailblazer through to open up that door as Nats swings it open. And now Mech, they can approach this A site from so many different sides, and that just puts pressure on Dinks in particular. And now you have to look to the setup inside of the site. It's just one player of SSK trying to do his best to hold on, but it's just relentless from Mech. It's an absolute massacre. In fact, it is flawless in the pistol.
And you're waiting for NAVI to get the full capacity in their arsenal. I get it. But this is one of those maps where they really need to have a strong start. We spoke about on the desk. You heard Ryan clearly state it. And the last time they played this map, struggled a little bit on attack. So we need to see NAVI winning these defensive rounds, because if we have a weak side on the side of M3, it's this half.
SSK swings to his demise as Nats will take the first. Mech off to a good start in this round. And NAVI not really posing too much of a threat. They did come close to winning one of these. If you remember back over on Ascent. Nats, though, much more clinical. Oof. No mercy for him this time around. Clears Duno out with a snake bite, forces him into the fight, and he'll clear him. As now we go 2-man advantage for Mech.
We saw this on Ascent. They love, if they find a little bit too much to handle on one side, they will happily rotate to another one. Unfortunately for NAVI, they take the bait and they swim with it. The moment they hear even 1-2 members of M3 over towards the site, they tend to rotate their players very, very quickly. That kind of fast rotation is good if you're sure. But when you're going up against M3, who is very happy to traverse and marathon the map all the way back to the other site, you'll get this. You'll get a 1v5, or rather a 2v5, a possible another flawless, unless NAVI can put some kind of nail in the coffin, and that nail in the coffin looks to be NAVI's demise.
Cloud is 60 HP, cleaned up. Defo takes him down, back-to-back flawless. Other than that, things looking pretty solid. And it's going to be a good buy, at least coming in here for NAVI. But if they lose this one, Jess, it's going to be a nightmare start for NAVI. They're giving themselves really the toughest way back into the game if they lose this.
Himalayas, and they have no machine to run with. They've got to walk.
Oh, walk?
You know what? That's
okay.
Even worse. That's even worse. I would rather have my feet to work that one with, but it's going to be yet another A push here, and as they try and make their way on, now there were kills, now there's a response, now there's numbers are waiting here for NAVI, Dinko, and this is what they're looking for, and this is what we wanted, was the full buy from them, and now that they have it, it puts Nats in a 1v2 situation, and this is the agent that Nats made himself famous on. This is his opportunity to traverse the site we know him well for. And well, now that Cloud's on the KO after JD very kindly passed it over after you played it on Ascent, there's
NAVI to pick up, and this is their chance now to tie up the scoreline 2-2 and really give us a real fight at the start of their Breeze defense.
Nice quick start here for Mech. I'm going to have to drop the M3. The Australianism is out the door now, Dinko. I couldn't get away with it. Majority
we were
rules.
trying.
We were trying desperately. Speaking of trying desperately, it looks like the desperate hush on the side is going to be shut down by Dinks. There he is, the Cypher, and he had the Cypher cage out real quick, but they weren't following him for the trades. But guess who's there for the trades? It's Duno, and I love this. They're holding the crosses really well. This is not a map that we thought they'd look comfortable on, but they're playing it really well.
Yeah, they're playing solid right now. That's a big step up there from Duno, and it's giving them a real chance. But again, Nats thrust into the clutch. If there is a player to win these, it would be Nats. Viper not getting to strike this time. SSK spots his head on the reveal.
So we've got to say that the sample, is not very high. But it looks like Nats is stepping up to the charge as well. He wants to combat for that spot too.
Yeah, Chronicle's one of those players that I got to speak to him after their win in Masters, and I was asking him, I've seen this ridiculous mechanical aim. I was just wondering, what game did he come from? Which attack FPS game? He's like, didn't really play any other attack FPS to the high level. I was just shocked, really, because his mechanical aim is unbelievably good. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on that in this round, because Mech suddenly in with a shot. Viper's pick goes up, and they're in the site with 2 up. 2-man advantage for NAVI, still looking good, but again, you have to try and clear out this pit, and right now you've got Redguard and Nats, 2 very cerebral players, but with that pit going down, it now reveals 1. Redguard quick to the headshot, but quickly dead after. NAVI with just the numbers, able to get another. Mech always make these rounds look a little scary though, Jess.
Yeah, absolutely, and also a little bit of an expensive round as well. We saw that post plant coming out with the Viper's pit, comes out of that post plant, and for them to lose that one, hey, NAVI picking and prodding well.
Jinx in an awkward spot. Luckily has his teammate, and they've taken the first 2 kills of play. So Mech tried to charge up middle, and unfortunately for them, they have lost 2 of their attacking side. And this puts Mech into a very difficult position, because now you have to recover a 3 versus 5 with so much time left on the clock. And Defo and Shadows, 2 players that can really help you get into those sites, are now down. You've lost the flashes, you've lost Defo's ability to try and crack it open with the jet. This becomes very hard now for Mech to find some space.
Mech are usually the ones that love to make space. If you missed out on Ascent, please do go back on it. Look at that mid control that Mech was able to get time and time again. They forced their way through. Now it's seeming like they don't know how to find that control. That control is being pushed back by NAVI, whether or not that is something that they had planned on previous to this game or not. But a little bit of a talking point as well about the fact that Chamber is back in the arsenal for Mech. We'd seen Chronicle on it in the previous Team Liquid game, and for this particular round now, Redgar being in a 1v4, it doesn't seem very possible. 30 seconds, Plant very unlikely. I want to highlight the fact that Chronicle had just a massive game against Team Liquid. He dropped 28 kills. He had a cast, which for those who don't know why I really hype up cast, it stands for kills, assists, survival, and trade. And it will count the amount of rounds in a percentage of which you did one of those things. So he had a cast of 90%. So of 90% of the rounds, he did one of those things. And I love to use that statistic because it really gives you an indication as to how consistent a player is over multiple rounds, you know?
Across the board, will they be able to keep up with the changes that Mech are going to provide? Of course, in this round, we're still not expecting too much from Mech as they're still on some weaker weapons. They will go out for the mid play. And that spike leaning towards B, they might get a shot at getting that down, Jess, and that would really help their economy.
They really need it now, and you can see they'd already pulled out the Blade Storm as well. Return on investment is exactly what they're looking for here. Defo making it rain from the sky. We've seen him try it on Ascent, and no, he misses. That is an awful try. We've seen whiffs from Nats, and we've seen whiffs from Defo, and just really put the nail in the coffin. Out comes, of course, the util from the Sova. I'm loving this. I forgot its name for a singular second there because I'm just absolutely floored by the fact that he whiffed every single blade in a short-range engagement there. Whiff montage? We don't think of a word for that.
We're having some
Whiff-tage?
competitions now for Ryan's Whiff of the Day competition, I'm sure he's right.
Yes.
There's one. I think Nats probably still takes the #1 spot right now, but Hunter Fury being invested into this round, very preemptive. I think, you know, you get some of the weaker weapons. I think you'll actually be quite happy for Mech that they've drawn that out in a round where they really didn't stand much of a shot anyway. And here comes the buy round. Operator out for Defo. Rifles around it. We'll see what Mech have up their sleeve. This is what the timeout was about. Getting the idea in for this round. We'll see if there's any changes from Mech. They have gone into mid, but this time from elbow instead of just straight up mid.
Unfortunate for Duno, he got a bit of utility and he got a bit of information, and he got a bit of a headshot onto Chronicle. Nice little shot there, and he had a lot of utility coming towards him. So the fact that he was able to target prioritize there between all of the different things coming at him was very, very impressive. Defo wanted a short-range engagement over towards elbow, instead opted for the long range, and he'll miss that one. And we see him take these short-range engagements a lot, but surely he knows that after Duno just hit that headshot onto Chronicle, he is above him. So he must be careful about this, as mid-control is only barely in their hands.
SSK, oh, the timing. Drops down just as Redgar crosses the doorway. And he is about to get the info here with that recon bolt as well. Defo, close quarters.
No.
The operator comes around the back, and it's got one. It's Duno down. And for NAVI, that is a timing that has cost him a big player, but there's still 2 players in sight. NAVI with 2 holding. We'll see if they can get this one done. Dink's the first player to step up, and now it's Cloud's turn. Just 1 for 1 on both of those players, and that has resulted in the equilibrium of a 2v2. They've crossed to the site to put the spike down, and SSK will start to make his way back in from the archers. JD, the wall comes down, and that reveals him. Nats in with a headshot, turns, can't find the follow-up, and now it's just Redgar. SSK with the updraft down, hits the shot. Quick reactions, risky business, but still able to pull it off for now V6.
If you look at his player camera there, you can see the absolute exasperation that came out of him when he hit that shot.